Welcome to Sovereign Teacher. I teach spiritual integration through tarot, family constellations, and embodiment, and A Course in Miracles. And I facilitate healing rituals and ceremonies. I am going to finish the reading that I started before. We had, let me show you if I can. This is what we had. And I didn't finish because I was not grounded. And now that I'm grounded, I'm going to finish. But that was actually also a lesson because we're talking about flow and it's understanding the flow. So understanding where you are in the cycle or the process, and then when you need to act and when you need to go in and ground or rest. It's understanding that. So that is part of the process, and that's part of what we're learning. So I'm going to get the rest of the Celtic Cross from the Light Seers Tarot now that I'm feeling more grounded. Okay. Where are we headed? Tell us about flow. And so we were being told about flow. We were being taught about flow. Recognizing when we need to flow in a different direction or flow around something or pause and go within. Okay, what else do we need? What else can we learn about flow and being in the flow? And so we're stepping into the Four of Cups. It's upside down. And then the Ace of Swords is upside down too. That's on the path of going up of the cross. Then we have the King of Pentacles in the environment. The Ace of Wands in the fears and hopes. And the Two of Cups in the outcome. All of these are upside down, which to me suggests that probably I have my deck upside down, but also it's suggesting to me that these are all things that we need to integrate in order to move in order to get in the flow. Okay, but we're going to find out. So the Four of Cups upside down. So usually right side up, it would be 3 cups that are spilled, but 1 cup is still full, and it would be focusing on the negative and what's already spilled. You see how she doesn't look very happy? She's focused on the 3 cups that have lost the water. In terms of my reading, like it was that relationship that was lost. And I could focus on that, or I could focus on the essence that was left. What was left, like true essence. Do you see, wait. You see how that cup is being offered to her? So I could focus on what went wrong, or I could focus on how what went wrong led me to something more authentic and true. What Spirit was trying to show me, that cup right there, that Spirit was trying to show me. Okay, so it's really seeing what Spirit was trying to show us. We lost the things that didn't really fulfill us, but we're being offered something that's truly fulfilling. Okay, and so I turned it right side up because we're gonna focus on that. And then we have the Ace of Swords over here on the path. I don't know what you call this. I listened to this tarot reader, Dove and Serpent tarot reader, and he calls this cross part the path of the dove, and this part the path of the serpent, I think. But which to me suggests like the heavenly realm and then the earthly realm. But I don't know if there's another way of describing this. So I'm just going to call it the heavenly and the earthly realm. So the earthly realm, we have, for our position in it, the Ace of Swords upside down. So I just want to see what... It's some sort of clarity or enlightenment, but it's because it's upside down, I want to see what that might be saying to us. What needs to be integrated. So the shadows side is overanalyzing, getting stalled out or stuck, clouded judgment, keeping truth inside. Okay, so that would suggest sharing our truth. Maybe that's part of our path. And the light side, the upright, new ideas, clarity, an aha moment, truth revealed, awareness, and heightened states of consciousness. Memory or thought, communication, victory, success, and triumph, a stroke of genius. I experience brilliant moments of clarity. And so I act in those moments of clarity, and when I'm not clear, I don't act. And then the King of Pentacles. I wait for that clarity to know what to do. Okay, so the King of Pentacles is in the environment, but he is upside down. So, obsessing over riches, seeking status, greed, a need to balance the material with the spiritual. So that's what I think this is, a need to balance the spiritual with the material, because this is very out of balance in the world. So we need to find balance within us between the spiritual and the material. And that, to me, suggests, like, what makes you happy? What fulfills you? It's not, we're so, like, focused on how we're going to make a living, how we're going to earn more money. And that's real. That's real. But then we get very out of balance, and we forget that what we want, what we truly desire, matters. So, learning to follow that, learning to follow what fulfills you. And what I've found is that it's very simple little things. Like, I thought, like, oh my God, I'm too needy. What I need, I can't possibly fulfill my own needs. There's just too many. But that actually is not what I'm finding. I actually have very few needs and desires that fulfill me. And I can meet them. Okay, and then the Ace of Wands is upside down. That's in the hopes and fears. Oh, so once we realize that, we can meet our own needs. What our needs are, not what everybody tells us that we need. We can find this overflowing material abundance, patience, determination, confidence. We can be a warm leader, providing for others, comfort, security. We are secure in ourselves. We feel comfortable, and then we can grow from there. And we can find prosperity and success. The Ace of Wands in the hopes and fears, and it's upside down. Okay, so the upside down side would be feeling uninspired, creative blocks, the mind needing rest, so no flow, it's blocked. The mind needing rest, unfocused energy resulting in burnout, a time to bolster your faith in yourself. So this is a time to bolster your faith in yourself. You may in the past have been experiencing blocks, burnout, tired, and hopefully you've rested enough to realize that it's time to move forward and to have faith in your own ideas and dreams and desires. I seed my brilliant future with the roots of creativity and inspiration. Everybody has a place in this world. What is speaking to you? What is authentic to you? Where's your energy going? Where does your energy want to go? Where does your heart want to go? Okay, so the outcome is the Two of Cups, but we had it upside down. So let's see what that is telling us. And then you're going to unite with your purpose, what fulfills you. And you may just have these little things that they will lead you one step at a time. So as I've said before, my path, at which I'm still on because I'm letting go of my career now, but my path out of the divorce and into my more authentic self was one step at a time. First, I knew what I didn't want, moved towards ending that. And as I did, I needed to find a place to live. And that all came about in a very magical way. And then once I realized that I had that, I said, I really, like, my heart and my spirit wanted a German Shepherd. And I adopted my German Shepherd. I said, I saw her on Facebook and I said, that's my dog. And I called and I filled out all the paperwork, got the interview, and they told me I could adopt her. Then I had to get into my house. And my house was a disaster and not really a place that I wanted to be in or was even livable when I first bought it. And then I had hired all these people to do different parts of the house. And one day they canceled on me and I'd already had my dog waiting for me in foster care. So I was like, I gotta get this done. And I had met this guy at karaoke and sang with him and had a good time with him and was just very attracted to him and his energy, but still was like, I don't think there's anything that's going to come of this, but really enjoyed spending time with him. And just the more that I got to know him, the more I realized what a gem he was. But he looked at my house. He said, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And I was like, no, that's not a good idea. And he's like, well, then let's do it together. We did it together. It turns out that we work together really well. We just flow together really well. We have a lot of the same goals and dreams. And so, why did I start telling you about that? Because when you start on this path of being your more authentic self, you might not know anything. You don't know where you're going. You don't. First mine started with tarot and then the house and everything, because I was so down in the dumps and so depressed that I just didn't feel any energy towards anything. And then tarot was the only thing that I had energy for. So I started meeting with a group of people that liked tarot, and that energized me and got me to do things more and kept me going. So we just follow where our energy and our heart is going. Okay, so emotional blocks, this is the upside down, the shadow side. Emotional blocks: not being open to receive love, disharmony, unions disrupted, separation, healing past trauma. Okay, so this is the outcome. It was upside down. So it's about healing past trauma and emotional blocks. If we don't understand what went wrong and what happened, we're going to repeat the same pattern. So we really need to understand that, for me, I'm going to use myself as an example. My past relationship was a trauma bond. It was what I knew. And I just, as hard as I tried to get out of it, I kept creating the same sort of patterns with that person. And then in the end, I really learned to love myself. But in learning to love myself, I realized he wasn't going to step up there. He didn't want what I wanted. And so I loved myself so much that I knew I had to leave that relationship. And I knew I needed to be open to finding everything that I was looking for. So I needed to keep my heart open, even though I was really hurt. I needed to grieve. I needed to grieve that relationship and let go. And understand that it was all that I knew then. But now I'm learning to trust myself and to love myself. And as I learn to trust and love myself, I connect with like-minded people and spirits and situations and places. And that is how I'm going to thrive instead of just survive. And when I say I'm also talking about you, all of us. So this Two of Cups could be romantic partners, soulmates, friendships, connected hearts, passion, kindred spirits, joyful connection and cooperation, union, sometimes marriage, duality, love, consciousness. I thrive in partnerships and my heart leaps with joy when I connect. So you're connecting with people like yourself. Now that you're more authentic, you're living your life more authentically, you're connecting with people that are like you and understand you. And I don't know about you, but I've never experienced that before. Or I've experienced it, but to a very limited degree. But as I become more authentic, I find more and more people that feed that soul and feed that. I can't say that I've never experienced that, because I have a lot of really good, deep, true friendships. What I'm looking for now is a community, a new community where I can be more of myself and have some sort of purpose and be fulfilled, be able to do what I love to do and receive a good income from that, and also to be in an environment that's more like where I want to be, that like feeds my soul and my spirit. So I think I want to be somewhere warm near the ocean. So let's see what happens with that. Okay, and then we got the Moon card, because we don't know. We're entering the unknown, and we're just taking one step at a time. And it's magical because we don't know what's coming from it. And that's the really cool part that you have to get used to, though, because in the beginning, it's just, I know I was really scared. But as you start to trust yourself more and more, you're less scared and you're more like, wow, this is fun. It's like an adventure. You never know what you're going to get, but you know it's going to be good because it's coming from this very high vibe place. Okay, so upside down, it was fears that block you, which is what I was just talking about. In the beginning, it's a little scary not knowing. But then you find it fun and exciting. Fears that block you, difficulty separating reality and illusion, and that happens too. Like, okay, what is real? You know, what is real? Because if I believed all this and that's not true, then what really is real? And you learn to feel into that and recognize people's energy. You can feel it. And more we're able to do that. Linear thinking as opposed to circular thinking. Inability to process a spiritual or mystical experience, mental confusion, misinterpretation, anxiety, and fear. Like my particular situation, waking up to realize that this marriage wasn't what I had wanted and that I had to get a divorce, that was terrifying. And for a while, I was just reeling from it and healing from it, and it took me a while. But I've been on this road, on this journey, and I'm learning to trust myself more and more and have fun with life. Really have fun with life. Okay, so once we can do that, we can step into that. The light side of this is illusions, hidden truth, the unknown, trusting your intuition. Yes, trusting your intuition. Facing your fears, flow, the watery nature of the unconscious mind, mystery, symbolism, and metaphor, perception, uncertainty, and dreams. I am safe, and I reach new levels of unconscious knowing as I surrender to the will of the universe. Yes, that is what flow is. That is what flow is. It's recognizing what you have control over and when you need to stop pushing and just relax and wait for clarity. And then you know when to act and how to act. And then you just take one step at a time and you wait for feedback. You let it integrate, you get clarity, and then you take another step. And you play and you dance with life. So that is flow. Today I didn't know what I wanted to do or accomplish. I didn't feel like I have a lot of things I need and want to do, but nothing was coming really. The only one thing was that I needed to get my dog her medication for her eyes. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. And then that's on the side of town where I like to take walks. So I like to take walks over on that in that certain area. So I'll walk her over there because I need to walk her. But at the pharmacy, I met another woman who was going to the dog park, and I had seen her at the dog park before. So we were like, oh, I know you. And she's like, I know you. And then she's like, well, we're going to the dog park now. Do you want to go? And so I was like, yeah, because I had my dog with me. So I took her to the dog park instead of, and then we didn't go for our walk, but I'm going to do that. I have a way to do that later. So I still get my walk, and she got to play with a lot of dogs. She had so much fun. She's getting to know more and more dogs there. And so I was open enough today to be rerouted, to take a different route. Sometimes we really need to focus on where we want to go and not get sidewinded. But today I could allow myself that flow and be open. And those times are great because you never know what's going to come to you, you know? You never know what's going to come to you. And that's the fun and the dance of life. Okay, so that's how we're going to end this for today, as it's about going with the flow. Let me just get one more card from the messages from the guides about flow. So how can we be more in the flow? How can we go with the flow? Make each day count. So we gotta make each day count. Let go of ego. That is funny. I like that. And feel joy in all you do. Yay! That's so cool. So that's how we go with the flow. So I want to hear more about that because I have not gotten these ones before. I don't think. Oh, wrong book. Okay, where's that book? Make each day count. Remember that time for the spirit world doesn't exist. Everything that has happened is happening now and will happen is occurring at this moment. But because this physical dimension has stars, moons, and planets, you have neatly divided sections of time at your disposal. Each day is a new day which affords you a brand new outlook and choices to make. Yesterday is gone forever. You never have to relive that again. Oh, that's good. Now, with each new day, count the moments and fill each one with compassion. Ooh, that's good. Discover things. I love that because I do have, and it's funny because I was just listening to Patricia Tate. She's an astrologer. She does Willow Grace Astrology on YouTube. And she was talking about Virgo and how Virgo always wants to get things right and be perfect. And that is always operating with me. I was just afraid to do anything and have it be wrong. So I would do nothing, or I'd let somebody else guide me or tell me what to do. And I do that a lot with spirit or God a lot too. I'll go that way because it's fun. Yeah. But now I really have ideas of where I want to go and what feels right for me. So that in doing that, I'm allowing myself to make mistakes. Like, I bought a Jeep, and it was an old Jeep, and it blew up on the highway, and luckily it was after a tunnel, so I didn't die. But I spent money on it, and it was basically in a money pit. So like, instead of beating myself up for that, oh my God, like that was so stupid. I shouldn't do anything. I can't trust myself. That would be what I would say, like, afraid to get it wrong, afraid to not be perfect, afraid that I'm not going to do the right thing. And also like conserving energy. I want to make every move exact right. And I don't want to make any mistakes. I want to be very efficient. So I have all of that Virgo stuff going. And I'm learning to be compassionate to myself and just let it go. And like, I don't have to be efficient all the time. Like I'm learning all the time. So I'm going to do this and maybe it doesn't go well, but I'm going to come back from it. So that I love that. Now with each new day, count the moments and fill each one with compassion. Discover things about yourself you never have before. Involve yourself in new activities such as volunteering or learning to play a musical instrument. Question your beliefs and values, read inspirational poetry, or begin a physical workout regimen. Nurture the people in your lives, assist them in seeing themselves differently. This is so right on for me. I love this. Always remember that your spirit is all about expansion and growth. You must give yourself permission to be alive with each new day and not wait until this life ends. Yeah, I picked up a sticker. This was right around the time I was getting my divorce, and the sticker said, live like you're dying. And I'm like, am I dying? I'm like, maybe I am dying. So anyway, I'm just going to live like I'm dying. I mean, essentially I am dying. Like we're all dying. And I'm a little older, so I'm even more close to that. So this is like a second chance for me. I'm really going to live. And I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to learn about myself. I'm going to learn about life. And that is so great to be alive in that way. Learn from all those before you who have made the mistake of waiting for tomorrow to forgive, to love, or to smile. Then it was all over and they were left with nothing but regret. You have come back upon this planet to experience everything you can in a physical vibration. Don't hold back. Okay, let go of ego. That's the next one. Let go of ego. A major lesson in this human school is to learn to separate the ego from the true self. In the illusionary reality of the physical world, the consciousness of your higher self, which deals only in all, is filtered through the human brain and and thoughts are focused on I. The human identifies itself by the body you are in, your physical surroundings, the material objects that you acquire, and how you are perceived by others. Every emotional thought is seen from your point of view. Your guides and your higher self have chosen this earth dimension so that you can feel what it is like to manifest the energy of love and compassion while you are experiencing the emotions of isolation and disconnectedness. It is this great divide between the ego self and the higher self that causes sorrow and misery in this dimension. With this card, your guides would like to remind you that your main objective during your physical incarnation is to view all things as a part of yourself. When you are able to open yourself up to an awareness outside of the ego, you are able to see the bigger perspective of your being, and only then, through this shift, can you experience true joy and happiness. And the next card is feel joy in all you do. Okay. When you are not happy, you are not in alignment with true divinity, and you have placed yourself in the earth mindset of judgment and fear. Remember, we got the fear card in the beginning? Okay. Feelings of joy are Spirit's way of letting you know that you are following your true path. The emotion of joy is a signal to your conscious mind that this action that makes you feel this way is what you should be doing more. Only you know what feels good in your heart, so don't let the judgment of others dissuade you from following your bliss. Do what you love and love what you do is the mantra of this card. If something is making you miserable, you have the power to change your circumstances. The human lifespan is far too short to not be doing what feeds your soul. When you begin to live in joy, you become a beacon of love, and the law of attraction will see that only good things will come to you. Okay. Do you feel like we learned about flow? I feel like we learned about flow. I learned about flow. It's following your bliss. And if you come up to an obstacle, you can go around it. And sometimes you need to pause and wait for clarity. Is there anything else? Fear, for me, is a sign to stop, pause, integrate, recognize, acknowledge what's coming up for me, love it, show it compassion, give it what it needs, and then allow it to show me where I need to go. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else. And the unknown. Did that answer my question for me today? I guess, yeah. Because if I don't know, then I go inward and I pause and I wait for clarity if I don't know. Sometimes you can start just doing things that you need to do, like cleaning your house. And then the clarity comes. But I'm going to keep learning. I'm going to keep flowing and learning. And it's about learning to trust what lights you up and what you need to do. Kind of balancing what you need to do with what lights you up. Yeah, that's it. Okay. And so it is, and so you remember how powerful you are.